Hey everyone, welcome back to another episode of The Life of KG. I hope you are all good. So today on the show I have Amy. She has a salon in Surrey. I have actually been working with Amy now for a few years and she's currently in my mastermind and she is smashing it literally from £4,000-5,000 months to gone £20,000 months. Like, she's doing amazingly. So I wanted to get her on the show and share her story. Before we get onto that, I want to let you guys know that my mastermind applications are now open. So we take an intake every July. I currently now have 2 masterminds. So those that want to get to £6,000 months and those that are already taking £8,000 months and want to get to 15-20k months and beyond. So if this feels like one of them would suit you, drop me a DM on Instagram and let's have a chat and we can jump on a call and see if it's suited for you so you can come and join me in July and transform your business. So without further ado, here is Amy.
Are you a trainer with a salon or an academy and would love to grow with government funding, but just need some help and support? Or maybe you're somebody that would like to start your own academy or even just train. Get in touch today with TMB to help you on this journey. See our link in the show notes.
Hi, Amy.
Hi.
How are you doing?
I'm good, thank you. How are you?
Yeah, I'm good. Thank you for coming on. I've been so excited to have you.
Thank you for having me.
You're so welcome. So let's do a little intro. Tell us about you and your business.
So I'm Amy and I'm the owner of Bellissima Beauty and Aesthetics in Surrey. We do mainly beauty treatments as well as aesthetic treatments, and the salon is kind of going more towards the aesthetic facial treatment side of things.
And how long has the salon been going now?
7 years in September.
Oh God,
so
nearly hitting the 10-year mark.
Yeah.
That's crazy. Oh my God. Okay, so take us back. What made you get into beauty in the first place?
So I never had a passion for beauty. I had really bad grades at school in my GCSEs. I hated school and just didn't do well. And it was limited options of what you could do at college without having those like C and above GCSEs. So beauty was one of the courses that you could do, and that's the one that I chose. But even when I was at college, I didn't really love it. My dad used to always have to be in at the college, like begging them to keep me on the course because I just wasn't interested.
Really?
But I done my I had no. I don't know. I just didn't like the classroom setting, like the education.
Yeah.
So yeah, but I done my level two. No, because my grades were bad. Actually, I had to do level 1, level 2, and level 3. So I was at college for 3 years, and then left and never done beauty when I came out of college.
Oh my God. I actually went into college early and I done level 1 too. And I dropped out after level 1 because I was like, I hate this. This is definitely not for me. So it's like a laughable thing because everyone's like, what other qualifications have you got? I was like, MVQ level 1. I think I need to be assisted by people to do a beauty treatment.
And then you had to do the classes where you go and do like your maths and English and stuff on the side to get that whatever that qualification was.
That's so funny.
So funny.
Well, at least you finished college then. At least you didn't drop out
Finished
like me.
college.
So then if you still finished college and you was like still not interested, then what happened?
So when I was at college, I had a part-time job at Tesco to pay for like my nights out, my clothes and things like that. And I just ended up doing more shifts there, and I just messed about doing different jobs, to be honest. I think I might have like flirted with the idea of like a couple of beauty jobs. Like I'd go, but then wouldn't go back. And you know, when you're young, like nothing's serious.
Mm.
And then when I was, how old was I? I'd done that for quite a while, and I'd work in pubs, and then I worked doing admin jobs. Like I've done quite a lot of jobs. And then when I was, what age was I? Like 2021, I went out to Kenya. My dad was working out there, and I went out there for a couple of years and worked in an orphanage. And it was out there that I was like, I'm going to give beauty another go. And there was a local beauty salon, and I was working there like on and off. But it was really hard because of the products that they could get in. Like, I don't know, it was like there would be no spatulas, so they'd use like flat things to apply wax. I was like, this is awful. But it did give me that thing of like, oh, I kind of fancy that. I kind of fancy getting back into it. So once I left, I was doing that like one day a week. And then once I came back to the UK, that's when I started looking to get back into beauty properly.
Wow. What was the orphanage like? That must have been incredible.
It was amazing. It was amazing. So I'd been going, my dad was there for 10 years. I'd been going out there from like maybe 18. So we used to do lots of like fundraising and always go and visit. And my dad done a lot of work with them. But like being there like full time was, yeah, it was really good. At the beginning, it's quite sad, but then you get like not over that, but you get used to what it's like, and then it's just like day to day. But yeah, it was amazing.
Oh my God. I bet it really kind of brings you down to earth being around like orphanages. And like the children always seem so happy anyway, don't they?
So happy. So much happier than kids here that have everything. It's crazy. Like I can never get my head around that. I suppose they know no different, right?
No. Wow, that's amazing. Okay, so then you went to open your own salon. So what happened with that jump? Like, where have you gone from doing waxing once a week to opening a salon?
So then I got a job so I was looking for a job. No salons would take me because obviously I didn't have experience. I just had like willy-nilly experience. And then I found this lady, and she'd said that I could go and work with her being self-employed, but it was mobile.
Mm-hmm.
So I went and done training days with her, and then she really just completely used me. So where we live, like just like in Surrey, she would send me into London for all the appointments that were like fell at like rush hour on a Friday. So I would, while she would be sat at home like
Oh
taking
my,
a massive percentage of what I was doing. So it'd be my petrol, like my time, like it was awful. And she used to, but at the time I was so desperate to learn. Like she'd be like on a Sunday, like come to my house because you need to practice
oh
this
my
like
God.
massage, and I massaging her like she'd be the model, so I'd be massaging her for hours and hours.
She
It was
knew exactly what
awful.
she was doing, didn't she?
She'd seen me coming.
So cute. You thinking you're on a training course and really she's wanting a massage.
Exactly. So then I stuck that out for a bit, and then I got a job in an actual salon. I was again self-employed, and it was quite like a upmarket like salon, but I just winged it to get in there. And I remember being thrown in the deep end, but that's what then made me, I suppose, how I am now. Like, I'm like, you have to do it. You've got no choice. The door's shut. You don't really have a manager because you're there as like self-employed. You have to
Mm.
make it work. That's when I started putting myself on training courses, and yeah, just I was there for maybe 6 years, with 5, 6 years, and then I decided to open up my salon.
Oh wow, so you was there quite a while then, so you got really good experience from being there.
Yeah, maybe 5 years. Yeah,
Wow. Okay. Um, and you had proper spatulas to be able to do waxing with?
it was amazing.
Like, oh my God, what is this wooden thing? This is great.
What? So bougie.
Oh, I love that. Do any of your family come from like businesses or built businesses? Because you're really driven. Obviously, I work with you daily and you're super on it. So, where's that come from?
So my family haven't had businesses. My dad has a business now, but he was in the army for like many, many years. But to be honest, like my mum and my dad are so driven. So even my mum, though she works for somebody in the corporate world, like she's literally like at the top of her game, you know, like she's very driven. My dad was the same in the army, like he flew through all the ranks and like basically completed it by the time he'd left quite young. So yeah, I think that's where I get my drive from. And like I say, now my dad does have a business, but that's only been in the last few years. They actually opened that after I opened my salon.
Oh, really? So, you get to have business chats with them.
Business chats, love it.
I love that. And so, going back to what you said about being in that salon and you was kind of like chucked in the deep end, you've obviously got a team now. Would you say you're the same with them now? You're like, come on, let's chuck yourself in there, because I know I'm very much like that as a boss.
Yeah, I'm very much like you can do it, like the queen of fake it till you make it. I don't know if that's a good thing, but I do really believe like if you don't have a choice, you have to do it. Like there's no one's coming to save you. Whereas I feel like some of the staff that I have had, the many staff that I've had, I've tried the approach of like holding their hand and really trying to baby them, and it doesn't work.
No. See, I always think like, oh, sometimes am I too strict or am I not? Not strict. I push quite a lot. But I've always noticed that there's different experiences. So when I opened the salon, it was just me. So it was like, okay, well, I don't really have anyone else to fall back on. I just learnt, for example, nails. It took me like 3 hours to do a set of nails. Had to learn somehow, and you just had to keep pushing, pushing, pushing. But then when I had teams, it was like, for example, there's someone that I had who is amazing, but she would always be scared every single time I put her on a training course, like totally scared. But then she'd be like, I don't know if this is for me. I'd be like, no, you've got to do it. Come on, let's go. And I would push her to carry on doing it rather than giving her an option. And she turned into the most amazing beauty therapist. And I've done that with quite a lot of the girls. And even I remember when someone called in sick, and it was like our main lash girl at the time. I think I was heavily pregnant, so I couldn't cover. And there was a new girl that started that had done like a 1-day lash course, hadn't had any experience whatsoever. And I was like, you're going to have to take over today because there's no one else to do it. It's just like, what? I can't do that. And I was thinking, oh my God, I don't know how it's going to go down. But I literally just chucked her in the deep end, loads of clients. And she literally, again, turned out the most incredible lash artist. So I think sometimes you just need to push people a little bit in the nice way.
Yeah, I agree. I agree. And I think if you can figure something out on your own, you never forget how to do that. Does that make sense? Like once you can do it, you can do it.
Yeah, I think so. What would you say in obviously these 7 years then that you've been open, what's been your like hardest point in business? Because obviously we all know business is just a struggle. Sometimes I question why we do it. But what's been like the point that sticks out and you're like, this is really bloody hard?
Does it have to be a time or can it be a thing?
Anything.
Anything. I would say staff.
What about staff? What is there a certain thing
The
that we went through?
the struggle of building the team, and I know that things like this take time, but it's like you have a good staff member, you add to the team, you think it's going well, and then something goes wrong and then you don't have that staff member anymore, so you have to then go back to the drawing board, start again, and it's building the perfect team. I'd say that's my biggest struggle in business.
Has there been a time when you thought, oh, do you know what, screw this, I'm just going to go back to doing it myself?
I think I did. Do you remember like a few years ago and it was just me and I was just working by myself, but then that didn't make me happy. So I think I'd rather be doing this, like employing people, trying to make it work. I know that it will work, it just takes time, and I'm so impatient.
Yeah.
I just want everything yesterday.
Yeah, I'm very much the same. It's definitely the hardest point. It's like when you have a team and they're a good team, it's like the best thing ever. And, everything's flowing. But when you have a difficult team or can't recruit, it's like, oh my God, this is so, so hard. There's been so many salon owners I've worked with or spoken to that have been like, I'm just going back on my own because this is just too difficult. And it's a real shame when people do that because it can definitely 100% work, obviously, with proof of that. But it is a struggle.
Yeah, it
And having
is.
that emotional connection with teams as well, that's really hard because sometimes when we're working with them day in, day out, and you start building like that friendship with them, it then can be really difficult to look at it as I need to keep her in a job, or like, no, actually, this is my business, it's not working, you need to leave. So sometimes we don't let people go quick enough, like for our sake as business owners.
Because you're you're emotionally involved, right?
Mhm.
Especially when it's a small team, I think, and because then you work closely with that person.
Yeah, yeah, it's really hard. It's really hard. When we've had people go in the past, and if because I've definitely got better at just getting rid of people if they're no good, and but that come with so much time, like so much time. I used to hold people for years knowing that I had to let them go but didn't. But now I'm really kind of see the signs, think if it's not going to work out, or what I call a unicorn therapist, then I'll let them go quicker. Um, but then you also get the backlash of sometimes the team because they might really like that person and they don't understand why you've let them go. And then they're, oh my God, they all hate me for letting someone go. It's horrible. But it's just part of the parcel.
Yeah, it
So
is.
what would you say has been your biggest win so far in business?
I think I've got a few.
Go for it, list them
Transforming
off.
transforming the business from basically a hobby shop into like a proper business. Being able to bring in like high-end machines, like laser machines and hydrofacials, like I feel like, like you feel proud can
Mm.
when you start having like proper stuff, you feel like a grown up. And or being nominated for awards that you haven't put yourself forward for, like getting those emails to be like, oh, you've been nominated, like you've made the finals of, and you're like, oh my God, like who's voting for us? Like it kind of makes, it's those little moments where you're like, wow, this is like real. Like
Yeah.
I've done this. So I'd say it's not just one thing, it's like little things that happen that you're like, oh my God, or just sometimes you're putting the lights off in the salon and closing up and you're like, this is all like mine. And it's still a nice feeling like 6.5 years in.
Yeah, I do love that feeling when you're standing there and you're like, "Oh my God, this is mine." Or when the team are working and everything's in place and you're like, I still think that now, even 15 years, bloody hell, 15 years later, I still go, "Oh my God, this is mine."
Yeah. It's like a proud, like a nice feeling.
Yeah, it really is. So going over, like, we've worked together now since November 2020, which I think's insane. That was before COVID, wasn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah, just before
Was
COVID,
it?
because that was 2021. That's
Mm.
that's a bit crazy. So obviously we started working together then one to one. How was business then? And then what's kind of changed to now?
So business then, I think I had started taking things more seriously, which is why I had like found you. But I was just by myself working. Like I might as well have been mobile, or might as well have been working from home, or like it was just me in the salon, and I had, I don't even know at the time, I think I had a staff member that, again, because I was new to staff and stuff, like I just was so emotionally involved with her that sh like she had no she couldn't do half the treatments, but I would just try and make it work, and she'd have like a few salons a week, a few clients a week, and I'd be like, "Ah," like really hopeful that she was gonna work out, but I didn't have a frigging clue what I was doing. I was just hoping for the best, and obviously obviously that failed because it was just a disaster. It's so funny when you think back. But yeah, so then business has changed like massive. Like I'd say now, like it's a proper business, I'm a limited company, like we've got systems and structures in place and like it's proper, you know?
Yeah.
It's miles and miles and miles apart from what like that's so funny thinking about that. What was I doing?
Oh, I literally love it because you're like a super success story for me. I know you don't see it yourself, and we always have our little daily chats, but you like have come so far in so because if you think since 2020, we're now in 2024, but like two of those were in lockdown. Like so it's not like we could trade as much as we wanted. And I remember when I launched the mastermind and you messaged me because we wasn't working together then. You'd done a year with me and then you implemented. And then I remember you voice noted to me and you was like, "Hi Kate, listen to the podcast. See you're launching the mastermind. Want to know if it's any good for me?" You was like, "So I'm hitting like 20K months now." And I was like, "What?" Like I was like, "Oh my God, like this is amazing." And then I remember jumping on the call with you and you was like how you'd gone and implemented everything and like changed the business around, which is like nuts. What do you think has been the thing to scale you to the 20K months you're doing now to like the £5,000 months you were doing before?
Bringing in different treatments. I would say take one, obviously having you that's like been there, done that, giving you that advice, like and guidance, because I think you could take absolutely years and years to figure that out yourself. So
Yeah,
I do think that that's one of the things. And another thing is like on a financial level is bringing in higher ticket treatments, taking risks with the laser. Like I remember when I was getting the laser machine and I was almost sick at the cost and the commitment. And even again after that, after we got the hydrofacial machine in, and I was nearly sick. I was like, this is horrible. Like, what if it doesn't work? But then you just make it work. And I think since having those kind of treatments in the salon, it gives you the the way to make a lot more
yeah.
money. But it's yeah, taking risks and having like a coach or a mentor.
Because even like with you've obviously brought them high ticket treatments in, which is amazing. But even what I say, your bread and butter treatments, your normal beauty treatments, they've literally like they're such a big part of that turnover that you're taking now. Like you're so busy with it, aren't you?
Yeah. Yeah, like how we're waxing, and I think it's not being afraid to as well charge your worth, because places down the road might do a Brazilian back wax for £20, but we charge 40, I think 43. But but I'm good at waxing, so I'm going to charge what I think that I'm worth and not what other people are doing. So maybe that as well, because at the beginning I feel like my prices were quite low. You would have the low prices just to get the clients in. So maybe but having a mess about with my prices and just charging what I want to charge, maybe I would say is another factor of earning a lot more money.
Yeah, I think so. I think people underestimate the power of just charging right and what you need to charge, which obviously you've got down perfectly now. And also the time it takes to do a treatment. Like you're quick at waxing, aren't you?
Yeah, we do Hollywoods and Brazilians in 15 minutes.
Yeah. So, that's where
So
the profit's coming in, which is so good.
yeah.
So good. Okay, so higher treatment, tickets, make sure you're pricing right and quick turnover with treatments is how you'd say get into your 20K months. And just for the record, so everyone knows, like this isn't even with like a huge team. This is like with a few of you, isn't it? And you've stepped out of the salon. I know you're slightly back in at the moment while you're covering, but that is literally with like 2 or 3 of you being able to do that, which is insane. I think lots of people listening to this think that you have to have like this huge team to be hitting that type of figures, but you're a prime example that you don't.
Yeah, I was surprised actually, because if I look back, we've done these 20K months with just 2 of us. and that's not working. Like one of my, we would both be doing treatments 4 days a week. I do admin on a Wednesday, and my other staff member at the moment has does 4 days a week. So it's just with both of us doing a 4-day week.
I love that. I love that. So what's next for you then, Amy? Where do you see yourself like growing? What's the next steps?
I really am focused now on growing my team. I really want to like nail that on this year. I want to step away from doing the day-to-day beauty. Obviously, I'm trained in aesthetics and I'm doing a lot more of that now, but I would like to fully focus on that part whilst my team do the skin and beauty side of things.
Amazing. And
Recruiting.
I know you're definitely going to be getting there for sure. So
Hopefully.
let us know, what is your Instagram so people can go and check you out on there and give you a follow.
My Instagram is Bellissima Beauty by Fleet.
Perfect. So you guys can go over and click follow. And if you love this episode and it was helpful for you, if you could subscribe and leave a review, we would be really grateful. But Amy, thank you for giving up your time today. It was a pleasure having you on.
Thank you for having me.
You guys that know me know that I love my supplements. It is a must as part of my lifestyle. And I personally use Sky Premium Life. They have a huge range to choose from. So no matter what you're kind of looking for, I'm pretty sure they're going to have. But I personally use the collagen and the hair supplements. And the difference in my skin and hair is absolutely incredible. They are super reasonable, so go and check them out. And if it was something that you also wanted to reach out, you can do that within your businesses. So we've recently brought them within the salon too, so our clients can then buy from us. But you can still just use it yourself, or you can use it in your business. So go and check them out. And there is also a 15% discount code below in the show notes.